सेव किया था ना?
मैं सिर्फ इसलिए गया था क्योंकि उसने मुझे कॉल किया, that's it. But listen तो.
Save it for someone else.
जिंदगी में सेव करना जरूरी है, मगर जब बात पैसों की हो, सिर्फ सेविंग से काम नहीं चलेगा। इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट कीजिए और अपने सेविंग्स को आगे बढ़ने का मौका दीजिए।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
Moushumi Das Gupta, our deputy editor, who's just done a tour of duty in Sikkim, following the unfortunate dam collapse and the glacial flood there. Because remember, at ThePrint we take all parts of India very seriously, but the Northeast even more seriously. And for us, then commercial considerations don't matter. Sikkim may just be a state of 500,000 people or thereabouts, but they are fellow Indians. Teesta is an Indian river. These mountains, the Himalayas, the rivers, the people, the forests, everything belongs to all of us Indians equally, and we have a stake in this. And wherever the story is, reporters from ThePrint will go there, because ThePrint invests a lot of time, energy, editorial effort and expense in ground reporting, and that only becomes possible because of brilliant people like you who take paid subscriptions. So when you take a paid subscription, please do, if you haven't taken one already, and if you've taken one already, then please renew it, because that will go towards making ground reporting like this possible. Do meet Moushumi Das Gupta, our deputy editor. Moushumi, compliments for the wonderful reporting work you did from Sikkim just now. I'm not saying congratulations because it was such a tragedy. I'm just saying compliments for fine professional reporting work. Now, you've done a bunch of stories. First, I'm listing some significant stories, and you will see the screenshots on your screen. So, for number one, what happened on October 3. Number two, she explained what is glof and what is moraine, and she'll do that now. Number 3 was the Chungthang Dam finances. That is the dam that the flood took away. Fourth, there was the interview with Pawan Chamling, a former chief minister for a very long time. And then also how Sikkim is managing for power, because all the power it produced, practically all the power it produced was from Teesta river, and that system is broken down. So Moushumi, first tell us, what was it like to cover this story and what were the challenges?
It was challenging in the sense, I mean, from the time I landed on October 8th, because all the roads, the national highway was damaged. National highway 10 was damaged, that connects Bagdogra to Sikkim, Gangtok. That was damaged in many places.
Because on that highway, in fact, you have to cross Teesta river several times.
Several times, yes. So that was damaged. So we took an alternate route which went through Rongpo in East Sikkim, Rongpo, Singtam, which was damaged. One of the NHPC Teesta-III project, the dam was damaged there, partially damaged there. So it took a long time. We had to take a detour. So it took around 8 to 9 hours. And that road is very bad.
What should have taken about 2.5 hours.
Yeah, and that road is very bad. So in Singtam, in fact, when we were driving to the NHPC Teesta-III project, in many stretches of that road, the water from the river Teesta had come on the night of 3rd and 4th.
On the highway.
On the highway. So, I mean, that also tells us the height to which the water rose, the level of the water rose to that height. So, the roads were broken, and we could see how the water had, entered people's houses, 3-story houses, 4-story houses, and the house, and it brought in silt, debris, sludge, and there were these government bulldozers which were, helping in cleaning up.
Teesta is a very temperamental river.
Yeah, Teesta, I mean, it starts from it's a Himalayan river. It starts
from the glaciers.
Then it enters Sikkim, goes to West Bengal, and then eventually enters Bangladesh. So in Sikkim, the Teesta's course is around 400 kilometers.
Yeah, it can go up quite rapidly. Every flood in Teesta is like a flash flood.
Yeah.
But this one was particularly different. What happened in this case?
This was different first because it happened late at night. So on October 3rd, around 10:40 p.m. at night, so the first alarm was raised by this ITBP commander who was at the border outpost at a place called Zanak. which is some 8 kilometers away from the downstream from the South Lhonak lake.
So if I may interrupt you for a second, that is one of the finest stories she did on this trip, about this ITBP soldier who gave out the first warning, who figured out from his lonely perch what was happening, and he saved many lives. That is the story that Moushumi is now telling us about. So Moushumi, tell us about this ITBP soldier.
So there was this ITBP commander who was, patrolling at the border outpost at Zanak. This place is some 8 kilometers downstream of South Lhonak Lake, which overflowed, resulting in the flood. So this commander, sometime around 10:30, he sees, and just next to 300 meters away from the border outpost was this river, Goma Chu. Chu basically means river, so it's a narrow river. It goes and meets Teesta downstream.
Chu is Tibetan for a stream.
Stream, yeah. So it's a narrow stream. So this commander suddenly sees the water level rising. So
Dramatically.
Yeah, dramatically. So even as he's figuring out what is happening, and he goes towards the room where there is a phone to communicate it to his commandant. He goes there, he turns around, and he sees that, and this would be like a fraction of 5 to 7 minutes, the water level at Gomachu has risen to up to 6 to 7 feet, and the water was had reached the top of the hutment that has the ITBP hutment there. And it was at that point of time that he rushed and he informed his commandant, who without wasting any time informed the battalion headquarters at Gangtok. And there the ITBP DIG, the DIG's name is K. Sanjay Kumar, who called up the authorities in Chungtham, who called up the administration in Gangtok, administration in Singtam, Rangpo, to inform them about what is happening. And at that point of time, it was the administration that got into action. But it was mostly the ITBP soldiers, the ITBP team at Chungthang, because it was late at night. By the time all this happened, it must be around 11. So some of my contacts there were telling me that the ITBP team were, literally banging on people's door, banging on, police station to get out, to get the police, the staff out, banging at people's door, residents' door, forcing them out of their house, because, there was no warning. Given that dam has, there is this huge,
and but for their warning, more lives would have been lost.
Yeah.
So they saved many lives.
Yeah. So in around 15 to 20 minutes, by 11:30, they had evacuated some 300 people who were living on the
Edge of the river.
Yeah, edge of the river, and they had taken them to a vantage point at a height, and because of which they were saved. And in fact, they were the ones who also informed the Chungthang dam authorities. And by the time the dam authorities realized that the water is rising above the danger level, they went to open the dam gates. But unfortunately, there was a team of 10 to 12 people there from the Chungtham, dam, who got washed away, who got swept away. And from Chungthang, the water...
They are heroes too, unfortunate, but heroes too, because they died in the line of duty.
Yeah, in fact, the ITBP guys were telling me that, they were telling the dam authority staff that, it's too late now and the water is approaching
too dangerous.
Too dangerous. But they said that, they have this SOP to follow. Whenever the water goes above the danger mark, they have to lift the dam gate. And in fact, there was this whole debate on whether the dam gates the spillways were lifted or not. So these guys went, and it takes time to lift a spillway. Spillway is basically the dam gate. So though it's a hydromechanical system, it takes roughly around 15 minutes to lift one gate, and there are 5 dam gates. So they had opened around 20 to 25% of the gate by the time the water overtopped the dam and
went over the dam.
Went over the dam. And
so explain what is GLOF and whether this was a GLOF event or not.
This was scientists and geologists who we have spoken to are saying that this is GLOF. So what had happened is that the South Lhonak is a glacial lake.
So glacial lake outburst flood, that's GLOF.
Yeah, that's flood, glacial lake outburst flood, and it's fed by melting glaciers. So you have the South Lhonak glacier, a little above the South Lhonak lake you have the North Lhonak glacier. So what happened on the night, and this scientist said that they got to, they analyzed this after they saw satellite images on October 6th. So there was a piece, there was moraine. Moraine is basically a structure of unconsolidated sediments, debris.
That's a part of the mountainside falling into the lake.
Yeah,
Yes.
so a lateral moraine got detached and it fell into the deepest portion of the lake.
Yeah, and the water then spilled over.
Yeah, water spilled over through the outlet and it went downstream, and when it reached Chungtham, there was already, because it was raining and there was already water in the Chungtham river, so it added to it, and then it overtopped the dam, and the reservoir of the Chungtham dam had 5 million cubic meters of water. So when that gave away, that water added to this water, and when that flowed downstream, it went to Singtam, where you have that NHPC Teesta-III hydropower plant. So the dam there is intact, but the 5 spillway gate got washed away, and from there it went to Rongpo and then parts of
So
South
if you see pictures of Teesta river, it's not a very wide river. It's a Himalayan river. It's quite narrow. It is fast flowing. It doesn't have the carrying capacity to suddenly take so much more water. And fortunately, because of this alarm, a lot of lives got saved, but these dams were lost. So another one of your stories was what happens to all the money that the state government had borrowed in partnership with owners of the dam to build this dam, and what will happen now.
So Chungtham Dam, which got completely washed away. So that dam work started on the dam way back in 2005, and at that point of time the project cost was just 5,000 crore. But because of various reasons, delays, clearances, the dam finally got commissioned in 2017, and by that time the cost of the dam had
It's typical Indian story.
over 13,000 crore. So, but the thing is that in this Chungtham Dam, it was developed and it's run by Sikkim Urja, which was earlier Teesta Urja, where the state government has a stake. Earlier its stake was 26%, but later in 2015 it increased it to 60%. So state government, the Sikkim government is a majority stakeholder, and then 35% is owned by this private company called Greenco Mauritius, and 5% is with PTC, is a
Power Trading Corporation. So now that the dam is gone, so but this 14,000 crores doesn't go away with the flood, no? Because you said in your stories that the dam was insured.
Yeah, the dam is fully insured, 100% insured, and the company Sikkim Urja, they had filed for claim the very next day, and the process has started. Though it's going to be a long winding process, it's not like settlement of claim for a bike theft or a burglary at your home. So it's going to be a long winding process.
Yeah, but really a great tragedy, many lives lost, environmental damage, and of course besides the human and environmental cost, also the economic cost, because these dams have been taken away. This made the Sikkim flood among the most important stories emerging out of India in a long time. And I feel particularly satisfied that we had a really experienced, wonderful reporter in Moushumi Das Gupta to bring that story to us, as I would say no one else did in our Indian media.